There's a big issue I see at the moment with a lot of up and coming brands or startup brands, or even brands that have been around for a while, that they're not building strong brands. They're not building a strong business brand. They're not building a strong personal brand. Now, what I mean by that, if you look at all of the great brands, you look at the Apples of this world, you look at the Amazons of this world, you look at Tesla, right? They have an incredibly strong actual brand, and they have an incredibly strong personal brand. Steve Jobs from Apple, Jeff Bezos from Amazon, Elon from everything, Tesla, Twitter, the Boring Company, right? And all of these people are always very vocal and always very out in front, standing out in front of their audience, talking about what they're doing, sharing their stories, sharing what they stand for, sharing what they are opposed to, right? And there's a reason those brands are monsters, and there's a reason brands that are fledgling brands are always going to be minnows. So think about the people that, sit behind their computer and they, are really uncomfortable, like talking to the customers, being on camera, writing content, being in forums, being in Facebook groups, being out in the public. And they're like, why isn't my brand working? I'm like, it's because you don't have a brand. You're not even attempting to try and build a brand. You're trying to have this faceless company, like you go to your website and there's not even a bloody, like, you're not even on the front page of your website. There's not a photo of you on your About Us page. There's nothing. You're like, I sell bloody mobile phone covers. Do you know what I mean? And I started the business because all of the phone covers were crap on the market. So I wanted to build a better one, and I've spent 10 years perfecting it and blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, yeah, that's great. Cool story. But it's nowhere to be seen on the website. It's nowhere to be seen on your socials. And this is the reason these brands never break through to the next level that they could achieve, right? So I say this with utmost certainty, with the fact that Wacom, like, I was the face of my Wacom brand, right? So people knew the brand, they knew the logo, it was recognizable, much like, just like Nike is, just like all these big places is, just like, Kogan in Australia is. Like, Kogan started his brand, and, a lot of people were like, this guy's a dickhead, do you know what I mean? A lot of people were like, I like him, do you know what I mean? And he was on the news, he was in the media, he was everywhere, do you know what I mean? He was throwing stones at everyone he could. He's like, fuck Telstra, or whatever. They're a ripoff, or, the Sony TVs are too expensive, like, buy a Kogan, right? So people are like, oh, he's polarizing. But he built a brand, do you know what I mean? And even now, like, if you think about him as an example, like, you don't hear a lot about him anymore because he's got this monster brand. He's at the Nike, well, probably not the same level as them, but, the brand now sells itself, right? And he doesn't need to be the face. However, until you get to that point, and again, for context, he's a multi 8-figure brand. So you've probably got a bit of a while to go before you get there. But if you're trying to get your brand up and trying to get it started and trying to get momentum, then you have to have a personal brand. It's not negotiable anymore, right? So people want to see you in their socials. They want to see what you're talking about. They want to see the latest thing that you're working on. They want to hear about your successes. They want to hear about, like, drama. They want to be entertained and educated, right? So just quickly, if you're watching this video, please give it a like or give it a share or something. I appreciate it a lot, as I'm going to try and do more of these videos. So, or give me a comment to say, hey, I'm watching or something, and I'm resonating with this, right? So, okay, moving forward. So if you think about it as well, like, ChatGPT and stuff is taking over at the moment, right? So everybody's going, and I'll say not everybody, but, at least 30-40% of searches has dropped over the last couple of months. I've seen it. I've seen Google ad accounts just go, same with Facebook ads and so forth, because people are now going to ChatGPT to find the thing that they want. So taking things like this into consideration, it's going to become a monster issue for people, because in my mind, ChatGPT is going to start going, hang on a second, if I'm going to pull in all this data from all of these, trillions of data sources they've got, and I'm going to give that information to people that are searching for stuff, they're probably going to start with the brands, right? Because they go, this is a trusted brand. This has a huge amount of backlinks going to that website. It's been around for a long time. A lot of people talk about it socially. online. So I'm probably going to give that brand more priority than some pissy little brand that has been around for, a couple of years and no one knows anything about them. They're not anywhere, right? So again, keeping that in mind, like hugely, hugely important why building a brand it's a non-negotiable, right? And in addition to that as well, so keeping in mind, ChatGPT is taking market share from everyone. Sorry, you can probably hear someone cutting the grass. It's probably my dad. So anyway, but as people leave platforms like Google, and I'm one of them, I rarely search for things on Google anymore, right? I get emailed, or I see an ad on Facebook, or I see an ad on TikTok, or I see an ad natively in the platform. And for me, my purchasing decisions are now made on, hey, I've seen that brand in a few locations before, and I've seen the person behind the brand in a few locations before. And even ChatGPT tells me that, like, this is one of the brands that's notable. ChatGPT connects to the internet and stuff now, and, it tries to send you down the right direction. But again, just like for me, it's like, oh, okay, I'm constantly seeing this brand everywhere. Like I want to go and I bought a new tripod for this camera the other day, right? And I'm like, I went to a site like JB Hi-Fi. I went to a couple other sites, and then I start getting retargeted via all these ads. And the retargeting has always been around for a long time. But because I'm consistently seeing those brands and I'm consistently seeing content from those brands and I'm consistently seeing, the people that are making the products and so forth, I'm like, I'm going to buy that one as opposed to the other crap, right? So I just want to be really clear on that it's not negotiable anymore. You cannot have an e-com business where you're not out in front and you're not building a personal brand and you're not also building a proper brand. Because, like I said, things like Google Ads and so forth, they, over the years ahead, in my opinion, also actually, at least for the next year or two, I'm really unsure about what's going to happen with Google Ads. Like, I'm seeing a lot of people just like tanking, right? So, as like I said, however, like Google Display Network ads, I feel like that stuff will probably take off, and PMax using Display Network and stuff, that's going to go better, right? So you really need to have a strategy that you're like, okay, how do I get me out in front of everyone? How do I get me out in front of all the channels possible? Because, and there's a few people that talk about this stuff, but they're like, if you notice what happens, the way people grab your attention and where they grab your attention from, it's shifting very dynamically at the moment. What I mean by that is, and think back a little bit, right? So we had Google Ads, and then we had things like Vine, and then Instagram, and then there was forums, and then there was, other things like Facebook come along or whatever. But, in the last year, everyone's gone from like, well, especially with the young market, have gone, fuck, I'm going to TikTok. Do you know what I mean? And they've moved from Instagram, or, the other people, or the oldies have gone from Facebook to Insta to now they're more in Facebook communities, right? So in order to crush those kinds of platforms, and it's not a search platform, it's like a, you're getting fed stuff platform, then you absolutely have to have a brand in there, because, that's where your people are, and that's where they're congregating, and it's where the most amount of attention is getting held. Like, I'm probably guilty of this. I don't have a real strong TikTok presence at the moment, and I also don't have a real strong Instagram presence. However, I probably don't know that I'm going to go too hard on Instagram. I think my platforms are probably going to be TikTok, YouTube. YouTube's never going to stop. In my opinion, YouTube is the holy grail, right? Secondary to that is like you can just get monster reach quickly on TikTok, but I need to be there. And all of my clients, they also need to be there, and they need to be there via video, right? So people, in my opinion, are getting, it is actually my dad. He's cutting my neighbor's grass. I can hear his laugh. So he's like 2 houses down. Anyway, hey dad. If everyone wants to say hi dad, he'd love that on the comment. But good, I was saying. Yeah, so I'm going to go hard on building a YouTube channel, and I'm going to replicate that content across TikTok, and I'll probably put it on Instagram as well. I don't feel like Instagram is my audience. It's probably more of a motivational lifestyle kind of crowd, which again, I like posting those things myself, quotes and shit that make people feel like they're fucking smart and stuff. However, in terms of actionable content where people actually go and do things, I feel like YouTube, TikTok, is super important. And so that's going to be also, and Facebook, obviously, because that's where I spend most of my day. But on those platforms is where I also encourage all of you guys. So building your ecom brand, like get out in front, talk to your customers, engage with them. And it's also super important that you're engaging them quickly and authentically, right? So don't get on there and just start trying to sell shit. Get on there and start talking to them, you know, see how you can help them, engage with them. Like I said this to a client yesterday. She's like, actually it was my comment to her. So she's got an amazing brand and she hasn't quite got it to tick over yet. So I said, I feel like we need to go to the market and go, hey, how come you're probably not buying my product yet? So with her, for example, you know, this is grassroots stuff where I'm like, go to Facebook, go to Insta, go to YouTube, do a video and go, hey, it's, you know, let's say it's Karen here or whatever. This is my product. I've been doing this for a while. It's a fantastic product. We do sell a fair bit of it, you know, and everyone raves about it. But we want to know why you are not buying it, right? So this part of what I'm explaining, she's building a personal brand where she's trying to connect with her audience, right? So, and you're never going to get any data better than that, like literally having a conversation like this. So, I might wrap it there for now. I think I covered a few topics in the video, but again, like I said, super, super important. This is the takeaway. Super, super important that every ecom brand, the owner, and honestly, multiple people within that brand. So I'm talking about like, you know, we have husbands and wives who work in our ecom circle community and a few of them in there, you know, like I see a video from one of our clients in there. The other day, he's posting a video of him talking and he's wearing his, you know, they own a toy shop and he's explaining a new robotic, product that he sells for kids so they can get into robots, you know. So dads like me are going, oh, cool, great video, Chris. I love it. You know what I mean? And then, you know, next video is his wife and she's talking about new products that she's got. And, you know, again, I'm still like, fantastic. My wife's like, great, they're so lovely. Do you know what I mean? And show me their brand. And look at the brand. I'm like, whoa, this is amazing. It's good. I want to support them. You know what I mean? They sell good stuff. I'm loyal to them now. Like, they're really nice people. You know, because people want to buy from nice people, right? They don't want to buy from big no-name things with no soul, you know, like things like, you know, a Big W of this world has no soul. You know what I mean? Something like Kmart probably does, but, you know, because it's cheap and nasty and like, you know, people just love Kmart because they've always got heaps of stuff there, you know. But a brand like Nike, for example, you know, it has a big soul. You know what I mean? A brand like Kogan probably used to, you know, Catch of the Day, those kind of big brands out there where they started off and they were started by a couple of brothers and the brothers were out in front talking about the business and they built it into a big beast, right? So people love that stuff, you know, and then they stay loyal to it forever. So, I think that's the most important takeaways that I'm trying to get to. Out in front, build your loyal community, be consistent. Like, consistency is key. You can't do like one video every 3 months and expect this to work. Every week, posting stuff, talking to them, right? And just keep it going, you know. And if you do all of those things, you will crush all of your competitors. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Once again, if you did enjoy it, please give it a like. If you didn't enjoy it, please tell me why you didn't enjoy it. If you think there's someone that is in your network that might get some value out of this, please tag them on this as well. I'd appreciate that a lot. Until next time, I will hope you have an amazing day and I'll catch you all soon.